everyone, it's Alicia PLOSZ. I am Mrs. Globe. Woo, hi, camera difficulties right off the bat. Sorry. Curve Globe. I am the reigning international Curve Queen. Welcome to Body Confidence, where we learn to embrace thy beautiful selves, whatever that looks like, even when the camera is falling on you. Good morning. Well, morning for me. Hello. I'm not sure where everyone is hailing from. I personally am from Canada, so for me right now, it is morning. It is 10 in the morning for me, Mountain Time, 9 Pacific, depending on where you're from. And today I have a beautiful guest that will be tuning in from Spain. So for her, it's going to be evening, which is excellent. I love that we get to connect globally, all around the world, and everybody can tune in, and no matter what time zone you're in, you can see me and I can see you, and it's great. So if you want to just drop in the comments where you're from, that would be fantastic. So, how is everybody today? Everyone feeling good? If you've already started your day, is your day a fantastic? If you're just starting your day, is it fantastic? Here it's raining. It feels like every time I'm on a Wednesday, it's raining lately. I'm not sure why that is, but it's okay. It makes me get more done in my house and be more productive in the morning. So I would love for you guys to comment and be active with me today. So my guest is Dolores, and she is a Mrs. Globe as well. So I love this woman. She is fantastic. She was one of the very first Mrs. Globe staff members that I personally met when I went to China to compete. So I have a little soft spot in my heart for her. So Dolores COUCEIRO is Mrs. Globe 2002. She's an amazing creative soul who I'm lucky to call my friend. She hails from, I'm going to say this wrong because I wrote it down, Santiago del Compostela, Spain, and you can correct me, Dolores, when you come on because I probably said that wrong. But she currently resides in Barcelona. She's working as a nutritional coach, photographer, and sports events organizer. She's also the official Mrs. Globe photographer, which is fantastic. So if you see any pictures of me with my prestigious, beautiful crown on and fancy gowns that were taken abroad or locally, they were 99% taken by Dolores. She's a very, very talented woman. She's multifaceted, and I'm not going to delve too much deeper into the catacombs of excellence that this woman has. I'm going to let her tell a little bit more about herself when she gets on, because she is very, very cool. She's got so many different compartments to who she is and what she's done in her career and in her life, and she is just a vibrant, beautiful soul, and I'm very, very excited to have her on the show today and for her to share a little bit about her story. So I'm not going to tell too much. Hop on when she gets a chance, and we will see what she has to tell you. I'm excited. I always love. Oh, hi. There you
Hi,
are.
how are you?
Good, how are you?
How are you, my beautiful friend?
I'm good. I'm great. How's your day?
It's so hot here. Oh,
I'm
super
jealous.
hot. Yeah.
Yeah. It's raining here. It's not that hot. I pretended I wore sweatshirt today, trying to bring on the sun, but not that hot. Having a good day so far?
I can't hear you very well. Hold on.
Can't hear me. How about now?
Now, yeah, better. Do you hear me well?
Yeah, I hear you great. Yeah. So, okay, so I was trying to say where you were from, where you were born. Can you just pronounce it for me?
Santiago de Compostela.
Yes, yes, way more beautiful than I said it.
It's very famous for the Santiago's way. It's a way that people do, just walking from many places, from everywhere in the world that can be reached walking, and they walk to see the cathedral. It's a religious thing, but it's also like a spiritual experience.
Oh, that's amazing. And that's where you were born.
I was born there,
and
I was living in many places, and now I'm living in a town next to Barcelona. It's like 20 minutes from Barcelona, called Castelldefels.
Oh, okay.
All the names are difficult, sorry.
That's okay. I'm trying. I don't know why, but I have a hard time. It's like I pronounced it how it was spelled, and I knew I said it wrong. That's why I wanted to clarify, because I knew I said that wrong, but so I have some questions for you today. I want to get to know
Tell me.
you, and I want you to share some of your story because you're very talented, amazing. I was sharing that you are the photographer for Mrs. Globe, and so my pictures with my crown on, you took them. All my very first pictures and first headshots I ever had in my whole life were taken by you.
Really?
I've never.
Wow. So you did amazing, I have to tell you.
Oh, it was great. I loved it.
Yes.
It was like not, yeah, I had so much fun. Okay, so your career has spanned from your late teens to your mid-30s so far, which is amazing. You've had very compartmentalized, cool things go on in your life. You've done amazing things. We're going to get into little bits of them. But you've traveled all over the world and have been to many different time zones. And so when you're traveling and you're busy and your sleep schedule is off and your eating schedule is off, do you find that it's more difficult to maintain a physical image when you're traveling all the time now than it was in your 20s?
Oh, totally, totally. When you are when I was in my 20s, in my 30s, in my 40s, my body was working perfect. Like I could eat anything, I could do exercise or not, I could sleep or not, and my body was fantastic. I didn't have to take care of my body. But after 50, when I got to 50, then everything started not working like before. And obviously, yes, it's very, very difficult to be traveling around the world, eating different type of food, different times, jet lag, because I was traveling from one side to the other one. Like I was working in Australia, I was working in China, I was working in the States, I was working in other parts of Europe that is not so big difference the time, but especially China, Australia, and the States, for me, California side, is 9, 10 hours difference.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's hard on your body for sure.
Yes, of course, is that hard for the body, and also the food is different. And because I'm also traveling for work. When you work, so you the people from the people who hires you, they take you to very nice restaurants, very beautiful places, and they want you to try all the food. This is typical from here. This is typical. So you have to try. You have to try. I love to eat. I love to eat. It's my number one. My number one thing.
Yeah.
So of course, I try everything. And when you're 50, when you go into your menopause, then your metabolism goes slowly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's difficult. You put weight on. It's very difficult to maintain a routine. Also for exercise, even if you are in hotels with gym, but you don't have the time because you're working. You know how it is. You have been there.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult, very difficult. Yes. So this lockdown, I took care of myself because I had to be at home, and I didn't have
time for you.
That taking care of myself. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. You've always been very vocal about being healthy is more important than being thin. Thin wasn't necessarily your goal. Your goal was healthy, right? And so feeling strong and vibrant is what you aim for. Is this something that you feel that you have gained with age, or did you always feel this way?
Well, I always had curves because since I was 12, I had big breasts and I had a very tiny waist. So my shape was like curvy. I was working as a model, and all my friends, my colleagues, the other models were very, very, very thin. At that time, I remember we didn't even have surgery for silicone implants, so nobody had, like only me and another one, and everybody was super thin, and that was the style for that time. So I was not considered in fashion model as the skinny one. I was kind of almost a curvy one, but working in normal fashion weeks, not like the ones that they do now with plus size.
Right.
So I was in the size, but with curves. So for me, I could never be super skinny. yeah, I was thin, but my style, you know.
Right. Or
And yes,
straight.
of course, yeah. And yes, of course, it's the most important thing is health. So you have to be healthy. It doesn't matter the size you are, you know, because then you have your height. So we are tall women, so we cannot be in the same weight as a woman this high, because it's different.
Right.
And the structure of the bones is different. And you know, you cannot compare to others. You just have to be to make sure that you are healthy and you're eating well and you're taking your vitamins and your supplements and you do your minimum exercise that you need, and try to be healthy, of course.
Right. I agree. I would rather be a dress size bigger and feel healthy than be thin and feel hangry and tired, and right. I see, like in
Of course.
I have teenagers, and I remember being, well, it's been a while, but I remember being a teenager, and I remember, oh, I want to fit that dress, I'm just not going to eat. Now I'm like, no, I'm going to eat. Like, you can't. It's not part of who I am now, but it's different as we get older. How we change our perspective is, I would rather be a little bit more me than try and fit into somebody else's mold. It's hard when you're young trying to figure out who you are, and I think with age, we definitely kind of come into our own a little bit better, right?
Yes, absolutely. And also, you know, with age, you also learn how to eat, because it's something that I always say, they should teach the kids at school how to eat, how to breathe, how to eat, and how to walk. The three most important things for me in life, and they don't teach that.
Right. It is
Why?
true. It's important.
The most important.
Here in Canada, they have a Canadian food guide that you can follow, and they have like what they call a healthy plate, and it's a plate and it's a visual, and it's helpful, but I feel like it should be almost, my son is in high school and he goes to foods class where they teach you how to cook.
Oh,
and
nice.
it's an option, but it's not mandatory, and I feel like it almost should be mandatory, especially for a teenage boy who is hungry all the time.
Yes.
That he should know how to feed himself when I'm not there to feed him, not just eat whatever he can just get in his mouth, right? It is important. I agree with you.
Yes.
I 100% agree. So when you won the Mrs. Globe title in 2002, which is amazing, other contestants had thought that you had ribs removed because your waist was so tiny, because you were so much curvier, which is obviously not true. We had talked about this, and you said that it was something that was a rumor, which is other people putting their insecurities on you just because you had something they didn't have, right? Did you, when you were younger, excuse me, that you said you felt insecure having such a tiny waist because you didn't fit where everyone else was so straight? It's funny how we can see ourselves, we always feel like we're not the same as everyone else, even though having a tiny waist, other people were coveting it, and you were nervous about it, right? So you were well known for your Dolores figure, is what I'm a Dolores figure. So what did you learn about yourself in this time being with a tinier waist, because you were living with models and traveling with other models? How did it help you to be more confident now, just being a little bit insecure back then? Do you feel like it changed how you perceive yourself now?
Well, when I was, I think that was when I was 14, 15, that I see all the models that they had a very nice figure, you know, the ones that you see in the magazines, and I had more breast and less waist, so my shape was different. And yeah, I was embarrassed. I always had my hair very long, very long, to cover my breast and my waist. That's crazy.
Oh, it is crazy. But yet, when you look back,
yeah, then you realize that that's your shape. I think it's very, very important to accept your shape, not about your weight or your if you have more pounds or not, or you're fat or whatever. You have to accept the shape of your body, because that you cannot change it unless you do a surgery. But I learned that. I realized that, okay, this is my shape. I cannot change this. So I have to accept it. And then with time, I realized that it was a good thing that everybody wanted to have more breast and less waist. But you know, but when you're 12, 13, 14 years old, you're so insecure. It's
true.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but it is. And everybody has that experience. Everybody.
Yeah.
And we have to teach the teenagers that accept your body, work, exercise, eat well, take care of yourself, but accept your body. Maybe you have short legs. Maybe you have a long.
Oh.
Can you?
Yeah.
I'm here. Yeah. I have a long neck, and they call me giraffe. Giraffe. Oh, you're a giraffe. Okay. You know, you cannot change those things. You have to accept it and enjoy it.
Be the same, right? It would be sad if everybody
I cannot
was.
Hear you. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, I said it would be sad if everybody was the same. It's the unique that makes everybody stand out.
Exactly.
And it's what makes, like, even in models, it's the unique features that make them so beautiful. And even now they're embracing it. When you, like, once upon a time, nobody had freckles, and now all the beautiful freckles are back. And I love freckles. I think they're so beautiful. And all the different textures of hair and the different skin colors and the different teeth. And it's not uniform. And I love that because we are embracing that everybody is beautiful and every body is beautiful.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. In the 90s, it went, like, in the 90s when I was a teenager and comparing myself, I was never like stick thin, tiny, like all the models. And now I love that there's somebody, it's becoming more prominent where there's somebody that everybody can relate to or say, hey, she's like me. And that's honestly better. Having more real, beautiful, uniquely beautiful people representing brands is important. It's definitely important.
That is super important for teenagers, because then they have someone to look after and to compare themselves kind of and feel better for being that way. Oh, I look like this actress. Oh, I look like this singer, you know? I think it's super important. Yeah. That's a good change.
That's exactly right. So do you feel from when you were younger and doing, like, you were Miss Hawaiian Tropics in Spain and you were a swimsuit model, and then you've done so many things. You're an agent, a modeling agent, you're a photographer, you're very multifaceted. Do you feel that from when you were a swimsuit model and then coming into the Mrs. pageants and then now a little bit more behind the scene, do you feel that your relationship with food has changed? Were you more strict when you were younger to how you are now with how you eat and what you allow yourself to have?
Well, at that time I could eat anything, and I ate like an animal, like crazy. I cannot eat that anymore. But now, yeah, I have to take care of what
so it's
I
almost
eat,
the opposite. A lot of times you would think if you were a swimsuit model that you'd be eating just tiny little bits, but it was the opposite. Your metabolism was amazing back then.
Yes.
And now, because age and hormones, it's the opposite. See, that's a good perspective, because I would have thought it was the opposite, where now you're like, you know what, I'm okay with who I am, I'm going to indulge a little bit more. And now you're like, no, now I have to be more careful, which is a different perspective. Some people don't think that, right?
Well, I know some mothers that they don't eat. They just drink water, or they eat a yogurt, nothing. I was never like that. I was lucky that I could eat anything. Yeah, I never had that problem at all.
That is very fortunate. And
but like, now with age, we have to take care of ourselves.
I know, it's even exercise, just to be a little bit more like, I'm trying to like work on my arms and stuff. And I feel like I have to do way more. When my kids were babies, I used to carry car seats all the time and my arms always looked good. And now I'm like, whoa, I have to work out hard to have nice arms.
Yeah, now with age, it's important to do weights.
Yes.
We need to do weights because the muscle takes longer to get strong. Yeah. And
the sooner you start and maintain, the better you are as you age. Sorry. It's important. It's important to maintain your muscle tone and or create a good muscle tone, because as you get older, it's harder.
Yes. Yes.
I know my mom is in her 60s and she works out and she's got really, she's very active. She's got a very great muscle tone. And her trainer always says it's because you have such great muscle tone that you're so much stronger and better off now. And I was like, oh, I need to get on it because my muscles are not even as good as my mom's in her 60s. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
but
No,
it's
but
true.
for example, the ones that do ballet, classic ballet,
Mm-hmm.
they keep the muscles, they keep the shape. Is very good for the body.
Well, yeah, ballet is really a really great
Yeah.
exercise. So I have a question. So when you were younger and you did swimsuit modeling, and then you branched into more of being an agent, so you had two perspectives, and then photography, and so you had many different perspectives of people on the runway, people in magazines. Do you feel that you've noticed like a switch in the industry on body image acceptance, on how women are represented differently
Yes,
now than they
because
were?
yes, it changed totally, because at that time we didn't have a curve plus size fashion, like
Right.
fashion week, fashion shows, photo shoots. We didn't have that. And then,
Right.
yeah, like people were complaining, hey, we are also here. We need to buy clothes, and we are not this size. We want to be represented in the shows. And it started, I would say, in the 90s, late 90s, maybe we started with that. And then in the fashion weeks, they started not allowing very, very skinny girls to work. And, they were promoting a more healthy type of body. And it changed. It changed a lot. Like what you were saying before, it was now you have all sizes, all colors, all races, everything represented.
Well, as
Like
it should be.
Like the way
The
it should
world.
be. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I agree.
So yeah, I'm very happy that changed. And I saw that change. I lived that change with my work. Yes.
I know when Mrs. Globe developed the Mrs. Curve division, you were really supportive of it because you love the curvy
Oh, I
frame.
love
You're
it.
very,
Yes.
yeah. And depending on where you are in the world, a curvy frame is more represented as more beautiful, depending, right? And different cultures
Oh,
are in different shapes for sure. So you
yes.
want to kind of embrace every shape. So do you have like a secret that you would like to share with everyone on how you maintain a positive body confidence, how you feel confident at every size, every age, how you feel strong in who you are?
Well, I would say that you need to know yourself, and you need to know what you need to hide and what you need to show.
Right.
So it depends on every body shape. So you try to buy clothes that fit you well, that don't show the parts that you have not so nice, because I see some people, I don't know, it's very personal, but for example, if I have a little fat in the belly, I try not to show it. But that's my style. That's the way
Right.
I feel good. That's the way I feel good. Because I see girls on the street that they have these mini shorts and they have these crop tops and they show all the belly out and they feel confident. I mean, okay, I would not do it, but if they are confident to do that,
Yeah.
okay, perfect. So I think, yeah, just try to look the best you can for you.
Right. Just dress for your.
That makes you feel confident, because you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, I look nice, and then you get that confidence.
It's definitely a mental thing. It's how you feel and how you perceive yourself makes you put that persona out, right? So if you feel like you look good and you look good to you, you're going to do better. Don't dress for somebody else. And don't let someone else
Exactly.
put a limitation on how you can dress. So if
Yes.
someone's like, well, those aren't made for your body type, you're like, well, they are today. Right? Like, I'm going to wear them because they make me feel good. And
Yes,
I like that.
exactly.
Be you and be confident with who you are. Because also, I remember once upon a time I was 20 and I didn't like my body, and now I'm like, I want that 20-year-old body back, right?
Exactly.
Or just enjoy the moment we're in, because you don't get it back. And today we're enough. Tomorrow we're enough. Just be happy. We can always make changes. You can always practice makes progress. We can always get better. But today we're good enough, right? And we just have to be
of course.
happier. So yeah, I 100% agree that if you just wear what makes you happy, makes you personally feel comfortable. Like for you, it would be maybe something less form-fitting when you're having a not so sexy day, and then something a little bit tighter when you're having one, right? So just dress for your intentions, I guess.
Yes, yes. And also I remember, I can't remember where she was from, but she was a beauty queen from a country. It was one of the former Russian republics, and she was very thin. She had a beautiful body, but she had a little belly, and she was all proud showing it with very fit dresses, and you know, you can see. And one day she told me that in her country, a sexy woman has belly.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
yeah,
so you never know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like some people are like, they like to wear really tight things on their bum and baggy on top, and like it just depends on what you feel sexy and where you're from, what is represented as sexy, right? Because in some cultures you cover up mostly, and in some cultures you take a lot of it off to feel sexy. So it just depends on where you are, right? That's good to know. And I think with Mrs. Globe, what I've found is great is we get to learn all these different cultures and the different countries. We get to see, even especially on like cultural night, when they come out in their different dresses, it is really unique. That you get to
I love it.
Bit about different cultures, right? Because I like you, especially, you've traveled the world. You've been everywhere. You've worked everywhere. You've worked on Miami, New York, Spain, Barcelona fashion weeks, right? You've worked in industries that are not feminine. Like you work with basketball behind the scenes. You do basketball camps, right? You work also, and body confidence isn't just for women; it's for men. And you deal with athletes, so you see them working out and eating and training and worrying about their body image and how they look and how they move. And because for them, their body's more of a machine because it's for their work, right? So it is different.
I think even more than what we do, because for example, basketball players, they get weighted every week, and if they have 1 kilo more, they get a fine.
Right.
So they have to be very careful with everything they do, and they have to take care of their bodies because they work with their body.
We don't think of that for athletes. Oh, they look great. They work out all the time. They always look great, but they have a lot of pressure and stress to maintain.
Yes.
And for men, especially, like a lot of men, like women get body shamed, men get body shamed, but it seems to be that women are more vocal about it. And I feel like men need to also be like, hey, I work out, I eat well. Just because I have a little bit of a tummy, who cares? But it's true. Like you can't. People are people. Like everybody has insecurities. Everybody. It's a daily struggle to be confident, and that's what is great about. I love this TV show we have going on because we get to learn a little bit about different cultures, a little bit about like different industries. Where I never really thought of it that way. Of a basketball player, I didn't really think too much into it, and then when I was talking to you. And you're photographing them, and they're like, oh, don't get my bad side. Oh, my arm looks weird here. And I'm thinking, they're completely muscular, beautiful athletes. I would never think that they think that, but they are just people with the same insecurities as we have.
Exactly, the same. Right? The same, yes.
Yeah, it's true. And that's neat that you get to see all those different perspectives from behind the scenes, being in front of the camera and then behind the camera. It definitely probably gives you a whole new perspective on body confidence through everywhere you go and through the times. Because like you started your career as a swimsuit model in the 80s, and then in early 2000s you became a Mrs. Globe, which is a pageant industry, and then now you're working with sports athletes, which is all very multifaceted, very different.
Yeah, but I have been mixing all these worlds all my life. Because when I was young, I was a player. My father was a basketball coach, So I have been into the basketball world forever, for all my life. So my father was the president of one of the clubs here in Spain in the first division. So I have been in sports and fashion all my life.
Right. That's really interesting. I didn't know that. Can you share your social media with us so that everyone, our viewers, can follow you and check out your pictures and a little bit about your life that we didn't delve into today?
Well, everything is Dolores COUCEIRO. Dolores,
Okay.
DOLORES, and COUCEIRO, and everything is that. Even my modeling agency was Dolores COUCEIRO, because I didn't have the time to be thinking about a name or anything. I said, everybody's gonna call the agency of Dolores' agency, so whatever. I don't think
Yeah.
about names, and and so it's at Dolores COUCEIRO.
Perfect. No, that's great. Thank you. I really appreciate you giving me your time today and for us to get to know each other
My
a little bit better
pleasure.
on a different level. We've traveled to many countries now together, but I
Yes.
never got to know a lot of the things about your career prior to, so that was really interesting for me, and I appreciate your time. So you
Thank
can
you. Thank
follow,
you.
feel free to share this on your page. You can follow me at Mrs.CURVE Globe or at Mrs. Globe, this site, or at my personal page is at Alicia PLOSZ. ALICIA PLOSZ. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Stay excellent. You are beautiful, brilliant, and brave, and you can do anything. Have a great day, Dolores. Thank you, everybody. Oh, you're crying.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. See you later. Have a great day.
Bye-bye. Thank you.